It's all good, boys. It's all good. So let's start off with the elephant in the room. BJ Hill got a rest day. No big deal. No issue at all. Then we got DJ Turner, who now has a hamstring injury. So he just pops up on the injury report today with a hamstring injury. Definitely not the greatest sight there. Cam Taylor-Britt did not practice today. Practiced yesterday and limited. Today did not practice with the hamstring injury. So we might not have DJ Turner or Cam Taylor-Britt. Most likely we will have Most likely we will have DJ Turner, but I'm saying there's always a chance. But yeah, so that's fun. That's fun. BJ Hill got a rest day again. Dylan Fairchild, that shoulder injury, is a full participant in process. Logan Wilson, also a full participant in process, which is really, really good. Now, for their side, they're going through heck and back. So, yeah, they're going through a lot of injuries. Christian Dawsall, their starting tackle, did not process today after processing full yesterday. We're not sure why. Could be a setback in his process, his knee injury. I don't know. But that is definitely something concerning for them. Donovan Jackson limited again. Theo Jackson limited again. Ryan Kelly, their center, still out with a concussion. My guess is usually with these concussions is you have to pass concussion protocol. I think you have to pass it like twice or 3 times in a week in order to be cleared to play. They do it randomly throughout the week. So they might test you on Monday and then test you on Wednesday and then test you on Friday, or it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like they do it randomly so that you can't prepare for it, and you just kind of have to, go out there and see if you're okay to play. Obviously, if you're okay to play, you'll be fine with passing it, but if you're not, then you're not. So those things we're going to see. Josh Oliver was limited again. J.J. McCarthy is out for 2 to 4 weeks, so he's not going to be, playing, obviously. Austin Keys was limited. You have Harrison Smith, who was also limited with an illness. But again, illnesses are one of those things where could the player not play because of it? Yes, but most likely they will play. Limited was Andrew Van Ginkel, which is a huge, huge, huge player if he cannot go. My guess is he will end up going, but you never know. So, across the board, yeah. I mean, listen, this is kind of just, the part of football that kind of always sucks is you're now in this weird period of time where you're going to start seeing injuries pop up left and right on different players. And it's not always a player gets injured during the game. That's obviously probably the most prominent time. But there's also players who get injured during practice. Do something in practice, twist something, turn something, you never know, right? Obviously, the game will, in some way, result in that being a problem. Like, let's say, for example, when you're in a game and you take a nasty hit or something like that, you might feel fine, and then throughout the week, you kind of have a little bit of setbacks or something happens or you feel the tightness or the pain, whatever. So it is what it is. I'm just very blessed and thankful that our injury report is such a small injury report. Now, obviously, we just lost Joe Burrow for the year. Well, not for the year, for 3 months. But still, it is what it is. Now, I will say I did see, I think James had a doctor on his show, and there's a million doctors all over Twitter. You just type in any Joe Burrow, and you'll see a doctor come up from, freaking a random hole in the ground, it feels like. But saying that Joe Burrow might be out for the season, and it might be a long run for him to come back for this upcoming year. I didn't make a separate video on this because I feel like at this point, every single doctor medical doctor or whatever, is coming forward and saying, no, listen, it's over. I like to live in the realm of happy possibilities and positive natures on things. I understand that, there are doctors out there who believe that Joe will not be coming back. I said it yesterday. There was a doctor that said, The only reason why Joe might be coming back is because he tore ligaments in the front of his toe, not the back. Like apparently if you tear and if you get athlete's foot, whatever, not athlete's foot, turf toe, excuse me, and you tear ligaments in the back of your foot instead of the front of your foot, then it's like 1,000 times worse than if you do it in the front of your foot. And he was saying that he could come back because of that, but again, he also believed he will not be coming back. Because they come back this season, obviously. And again, like I said, listen, I understand that doctors are going to come out, and I understand it's a popular thing to have a doctor say, hey, give their opinion on a player and give opinion on the situation. At the end of the day, every single person is different, right? Every single human being deals with recovery differently. Every single person, it's their body, right? So their body might recover faster to certain things, slower to certain things. And while I do appreciate doctors' opinions and all the medical doctors coming out and saying that Joe Burrow is not going to come back week 15 or 16, and that pretty much it's going to be Jake Browning the whole entire year, I like to think of two reasons. I like to think of one, I like to live in this, hope and desire that they're wrong, right? And we're not hearing the, medical doctor from the Bengals saying that. We're hearing doctors who have not worked with Joe Burrow, or maybe some of them have worked with other players. But again, do they know Joe Burrow's body per se, one for one? No, they don't. So that's also a factor that I think is important, is that, everyone's body is different. I heard one doctor talk about it, and he's talking about it as in the aspect of it, like a normal person. This is a football player. This is not a normal person. This is a, professional athlete that trains and does crazy things with their body and, obviously, treats their body like a temple more than the average person would. And again, not saying that, what I'm saying, like, it's a completely different scenario. Now, again, like I said, I know obviously medical doctors have a lot more, say than I do when it comes to this subject. But again, like I said, I'm living in the, hey, I'm just going to be hopeful, and I'm just going to be, thinking that and hoping for the best. I'm going to be optimistic, right? That's kind of how I look at it. So, again, like I said, I think it's more of a popular thing to do. This happens all the time. Whenever someone gets injured, there's like a million doctors. One of the main doctors on Twitter that always comments on everything, and this guy has I think millions upon millions of followers. When Joe first got hurt, he came out with a video and said it's an Achilles tear. And he showed why it's an Achilles tear. He broke it down why it was an Achilles tear. He went through a whole 20-minute explanation on why it's an Achilles tear the second Joe went down. Well, we know now it's not an Achilles tear, but he explained every little detail of exactly why the mannerisms show it's an Achilles tear. So again, I respect the doctor's opinion. I respect the doctors come out and give their opinions. I just think sometimes on Twitter, everyone tries to be a doctor, and the doctors who are doctors try to, get those click and views, and they're trying to make that money. And I think sometimes then you realize that when you're giving your opinion on stuff like this is not something to just, hey, I want clicks and views. This is something that will impact, first off, a whole entire city. Second off, obviously, the player. And I want to keep Joe as in the high spirits as humanly possible. So, I'm sure, knowing Joe, he plans to come back. That's just kind of how Joe Burrow is. Joe Burrow doesn't plan to sit out the season. Joe plans to come back. But anyway, that's just my cup of tea. See you guys next one.